Up next, we have got Ghost Rider and Spawn. Uh, we've had both of them appear on these battles before. At least once, right? We had Spawn fight Kratos, and Ghost Rider fought Lobo. I don't think Spawn fought anyone else. Um, it's a tough one. I like both of these characters, and I think they're both pretty powerful. You know what? Based on what I saw in Ghost Rider versus Lobo, I'm gonna go with Ghost Rider. I think Spawn might be able to do this, but he's got a lot of sin and stuff, and that's kind of Ghost Rider's thing.
Ghost Rider versus Spawn.
The Spirit of Vengeance versus the Dark Angel of Armageddon.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Johnny Blaze has always been a man possessed, chasing the thrill of certain doom by performing death-defying stunts, following the example of his adoptive father, Crash Simpson.
Until the day Crash lived up to his name and got cancer, heartbroken, and without enough Wampa fruit to save him, Johnny turned to the only thing that could: chemotherapy.
The devil.
Oh!
To cure Crash's cancer, Johnny sold his soul to Mephisto, king
Yep.
of the 8th layer of hell.
Only for Crash to actually live up to his name right after.
But instead of scooping up Johnny's soul, Mephisto had something else in mind. He bound Johnny to an instrument of divine wrath, Zarathos, the spirit of vengeance.
So Johnny Blaze lived up to his name and burst into Hellfire, an undead skeleton biker with a sick-ass hog, the fifth
Yeah.
scariest Nick Cage performance, the stuntman from hell. He called himself the Daredevil.
Sorry, Johnny. That
Yeah, no, that's already take.
Okay, then how about the Ghost Rider?
Sure, we definitely didn't forget that we named a character the same thing only 5 years earlier. All you.
The Ghost Rider was bad news.
Real name, Jonathan Johnny Blaze. 188 centimeters or 6'2", 98.8 kilograms or 220 pounds, a former stunt cyclist, bound to Zarathos, the spirit of vengeance, former king of hell, is a fellow Ghost Rider alongside Danny Ketch and Robbie Reyes. I don't know if I know Danny. I know Robbie from Midnight Suns. Another great fucking game, by the way. Um, Hope they do a sequel for that. Midnight Suns. They definitely left it open for a sequel, and I would totally play the shit out of that. But we're getting off topic. I don't think I know a Danny.
For Earth sinners and scumbags. He's strong enough to pull down skyscrapers, blow up mountains, and cause earthquakes that can be felt across whole countries.
Don't even think about fighting back. He can remake his whole body from the hellfire that engulfs him, making him immune to all physical damage.
Ghost Rider's body is mystical in nature and not subject to ordinary bodily limitations such as fatigue. Attempts to tamper with his biological makeup have proven ineffective. Ghost Rider Volume 6, number 35.
Only holy weapons that target his soul can harm him.
It's not just his body, his whole arsenal is hellfire. Ghosty can create anything he can think of, from an infant.
The Damnation Stare, Demonic Magic, Hell Cycles, Hellfire, Mystic Chains, Penance Stare, Regenerative Healing, Sin and Soul Manipulation, and Superhuman Physique. You see, that's sin manipulation stuff. Like, that's where I'm worried about. Because I feel like Spawn's a bit like Kratos. in that sense. But I guess Spawn feeds off sin and stuff too, right? I don't know. I think Ghost Rider's still coming out on
That
top.
stream of chains, a shotgun packed with fiery rounds, or a flaming missile barfed right out of his mouth. Life goals.
And he can imbue other objects with hellfire, such as his Hell Cycle.
Oh, this badass bike can outpace Thor's hammer Mjolnir, which
Yeah.
can cross the universe in seconds.
Hellfire is a weapon in and of itself, whether shot out of his hands, raining down from the sky, or released from his...
Penis.
His
It's penis.
boner, Wiz. Get it? And it doesn't just scorch flesh. Hellfire is so deadly, it can burn away your very soul.
This technique would be mastered by Johnny's successor, his own brother, Danny Ketch.
Oh yeah, Johnny's not the only Ghost Rider, and Danny was the first to master their most famous move. You know, the one that burns your soul to smithereens with just a look? The Penance Stare.
The Penance Stare inflicts upon its victims every ounce of pain they ever wreaked upon others. Every cruelty, no matter how small or righteous, is reflected back. A
Yeah.
biblical punishment.
Obliterating
It
your soul.
sucks. Danny at the time had absorbed numerous spirits of vengeance to overpower Johnny. Later, Johnny proved to be Danny's superior in combat.
It even works on other Ghost Riders, like when Johnny and Danny got into a staring contest and Danny actually depowered Johnny.
Eyes are windows to the soul, so the Ghost Rider must be able to match his victim's gaze for the Penance Stare to work. Some people have survived it, like the Punisher supposedly because he didn't regret his actions, but it did work on him on other occasions.
Well, Johnny can adjust how deadly it is, and it doesn't necessarily have to kill you. He can use the stare to read minds, force you to confess info, or just show you the error of your ways.
Remember, the Ghost Rider is two souls in one body, with the kinder Johnny battling the demon Zarathos in a war of control.
Yeah.
Classic Faustian bargain. All the power in the world, but if you want it, it uses you. Because if Johnny gives in, the demon's full might will take over, and then everything is screwed.
Yeah, you don't want that to happen. If that happens, you might as well get down on your knees and fucking pray, because that's about all you can do to stop the Ghost Rider.
Zarathos' strength is boundless.
Asgard is shown to be in a higher dimensional space. Incredible Hulk Volume number 1, number 312, and Beyond the Final Universe, Thor Volume 1, number 143. As the Marvel multiverse contains an infinite set of universes, this means Asgard's distance from Earth is infinite.
He can open up portals between dimensions, control the elements, Penance Stare an entire city, and fly all the way to Asgard, which is a literal infinite distance away.
He's manhandled some of Marvel's heaviest.
Zarathos is the source of his power, has a demonic physiology, nature manipulation, magical energy manipulation. Other hosts include Alexandra Jones, the Hood, a single mother, Skrymir, Danger, Craven, and a Brood. Possibly an angel, ?
Hitters like Thor, World War Hulk, and Doctor Strange. Hell, Strange said Zarathos is a threat to all realms, mortal and immortal.
Hyperbole? Think again. The Archangel Zadkiel said that the power of the Ghost Rider could threaten all of existence, and even bring down heaven itself.
Right before an army of Ghost Riders did just that. Yeah,
Oh,
an
shit.
army. The spirits of vengeance are legion.
As far back as the Great Flood,
Well, the first heavenly spirits of vengeance emerged after the Great Flood. Mephisto has been creating them since even earlier. The first recorded Ghost Rider appeared circa 1 million BC and teamed up with a young Odin in the first Iron Fist, as well as the original Sorcerer Supreme, and which was like Agamotto or whatever, and a cave woman possessed with the Phoenix Force who banged Odin and gave birth to Thor.
humans have been bonded to the vestiges of God's power to act as his divine wrath on Earth. A sort of heavenly black ops.
Okay, wait, does
Yeah.
that make Zarathos an angel now? Or
Kinda.
is he still a demon?
Both? Neither? Despite being one of the greatest entities in existence, it's unclear. What we do know is that ages ago, Zarathos feasted on souls and battled Mephisto for rulership of his realm.
And he
Mephisto,
lost.
ever the trickster, claimed victory and gained control of Zarathos forevermore. Hence how he could bond him to Johnny.
But Zarathos got his revenge against that big red bitch with another Ghost Rider, Alejandra Jones. Bet you wish you had one more day to fix that hole in your chest, huh?
Comic book
I
fan
get
punching
it.
bag though he may be, Mephisto is unbelievably powerful. A battle with him could cause omniversal Armageddon, fitting as his fight with Galactus rents the cosmos asunder.
And
Yeah.
Galactus' fights can destroy all of Marvel's infinite multiverse. That's the kind of awesome power at Zarathos'
As we found
disposal.
out, Galactus
Total
versus Unicron.
cosmic annihilation.
So it was no surprise when Johnny went down to the underworld and took Hell's throne for himself, usurping the devil that ruined his life and finally grabbing destiny by the handlebars.
Scoring the total power of hell itself, plus a sick-ass upgrade, the Damnation Stare, which skips the whole every page.
As King of Hell, Johnny broke through a million different enchantments placed by Doctor Strange and Wong, Ghost Rider Volume 9, Number 4, and harmed a Lilith, who planned to merge all of the Netherworlds, spirits of Ghost Rider, Mother of Demons.
You've ever inflicted thing and just sends you straight to hell. No shot.
As they say though, uneasy lies the head that wears the crown. Johnny began an obsessive crusade
Outspelled Mjolnir, survived battling World War Hulk, used the Penance Stare on an entire city, took a missile that would have destroyed the Angel Saint Michael, fought the Avengers to a standstill. Damn, I didn't know he did that. Defeated Doctor Strange, Mephisto, Null the Living Darkness, and Zadkiel.
to capture all of Hell's escaped demons. But by using his new power to damn them to hell, he began absorbing their evil, feeding off of it, and it corrupted him. Once again, Johnny Blaze was a man possessed.
In truth, Johnny was just as trapped by Hell's power as he'd always been, and he needed
Of
Danny's
course.
help to pull him out of the darkness.
Though he gave up Hell's throne, the Ghost Rider continues his war against demons without and within, mentoring his fellow Ghost Riders in the ways of vengeance, always prowling the highways for the evil and the profane.
An unstoppable engine of judgment that, with just a glance, could make Galactus himself shit his pants.
Maybe one day he'll find salvation in the eyes of one of his victims.
As they sure as hell won't find any in his.
Yeah, no.
This battle is sponsored by
He doesn't
Robinhood
do
sent
that.
along by its
Only boost dusting 1 year, 8,000 old.
one thing, he was a... If Al Simmons was one thing, he was a killer.
A lieutenant
Yeah.
colonel in the U.S. Army and the CIA's most decorated assassin, Simmons upheld
Bad
democracy around the globe at the barrel of a gun, painting the third world in red, white, and blue, but mostly red.
Until his final fateful mission when, per his boss's orders, Al was fired.
The burning was only getting started because Al's immortal soul was on a one-way trip to hell.
Where he cut a deal with Malvosia, the big, naked lord of the Eighth Circle of Hell.
By their pact, Simmons would be reborn a Hellspawn, a superpowered commander of Hell's armies, in exchange for seeing his wife one more time.
Oh, buddy, you're just asking
Yeah.
to get monkey's bud.
Al Simmons returned from the dead as a decaying zombie 5 years later, after his wife had already remarried and had a daughter.
There, you saw her. Now get back to work, bitch.
Thus was born the undead warrior from hell itself,
Spawn.
Maison Perrier.
Made by Todd motherfucking
Taste the
McFarlane.
irresistible French lifestyle.
Revive ton rêve.
He's so 90s that he comes all
Full name, Albert Francis Simmons. Aliases, Lieutenant Colonel, Hellspawn, Al, and the Sad Man. Height, 191 centimeters or 6'3". Weight, 181.4 kilograms or 400 pounds. God damn, dude is thick. Former CIA assassin, bound with K7 Letha, a neural parasite. Oh, right, his suit is a living being. Former King of Hell. Oh, what a coincidence. Longest running independent comic book character.
All the way
Yeah?
back around to being the coolest thing ever. Look upon his edge wizard and despair.
Spawn would violently defend New York's downtrodden, while slowly uncovering the full breadth of his demonic powers.
He's like a walking superpower encyclopedia. He can
Yeah.
fly, teleport, turn invisible and intangible, move things with his mind, make force fields, control the elements and the weather, and even stop time. Speaking of time, he can fly so fast, he literally breaks into other dimensions and smashes time as a concept.
He can manipulate matter, shape-shifting his own body or transmuting other objects and people. He can even control and absorb your soul.
Wait, Wiz, if he can rearrange molecules and crap, why doesn't he just fix his uggo face?
Well, he tried to do that, but Malbolgia cursed him so that he could only make himself... yeah.
Oh, it's petty trolling like that gets
Really?
you thrown in hell.
To be fair, Spawn can achieve
Really? So he can become a human, but he has to be white? I mean, it's not a huge problem, but yeah, that's a petty. It's just like, come on, Malvoja, really? Should that petty? Come on.
a similar result with illusions and mental manipulation. He can read and control minds, implant and replace memories, or simply drive you mad.
Spawn can do all of this crazy shit.
Alright, body manipulation, intangibility, invisibility, shapeshifting, transmutation, and regeneration. Elemental manipulation, energy absorption, flight, mental manipulation, necromancy, necroplasm, sin and soul manipulation. Yeah, so he does have that, so I thought. Teleportation, time manipulation, and weather manipulation.
Because he runs on necroplasm. Basically, hell juice.
You're not wrong. Necroplasm is the energy that makes up hell itself. Al's undead body is composed of 400 pounds of it.
He can wield it like an energy blaster empowered by the sins of others. Spawn can absorb your evil and feed off of it. By simply walking on Earth, Spawn feels all of humanity's pain all at once.
He's even absorbed
Bro,
the sins of
what?
8 million New Yorkers instantly, cleansing them of their evil.
Like Jesus?
Or he can do the reverse and make you experience the full weight of your own sins, feeling every bit of pain you've ever inflicted on others over your whole life.
Like some sort of penance.
Though Spawn's necroplasm comes with a catch.
Yeah, they are
He's
pretty
got a
similar.
limited amount of the stuff,
It makes
and it
sense.
drains every time you use
For those of you that, I mean, everybody probably knows, but for those who don't know, Todd McFarlane, the creator of Spawn, worked for Marvel for a while before he left with a few other people, including Rob. Oh my God, what the fuck was his last name? I think it was Rob. I might be getting the name wrong. He left anyway. He left with a bunch of other people, and they started up Image Comics, and their best-selling comic and like their best character was Spawn, created by Todd McFarlane. Um, and he kind of based them off of like Ghost Rider and Venom and people like that, taking ideas from his time at Marvel Comics, but combining them into one unique character that was all his own.
his powers. If he runs out, he's dragged back to hell.
Even depowered, Spawn can rely on his elite military training in hand-to-hand combat. He's even fought Batman to a standstill.
And as befits his past profession, he loves his big-ass 90s guns.
Though his greatest weapon is the sentient being he's genetically and spiritually bonded to, his cloak. Letha of the 7th House of K.
You ever wonder why his cape's red? Nope, well, now you are, and it's
The 7th
Hey,
being
hold on
he's
a second.
genetically and
When any of us speak of Spawn, we're talking about the symbiote. Okay. That's where the true power hides. That's what we all covet, not Simmons. It's Costume's DNA that is driving all of this. Simmons was only ever meant to be a means to an end, but Simmons, his soul, his DNA, must have an X factor that, when joined with the symbiote, corrupted the natural order, altered how the costume merges with its host. Since your symbiote was still in its larval state when it bonded with Simmons, nobody, demon or angel, noticed the danger locked within Al Simmons' humanity.
Spiritually bonded to his cloak, Letha of the 7th House of K.
You ever wonder why his cape's red? Nope, well, now you are, and it's red because it's made from the apple Eve ate in the Garden of Eden. It's
That's
literally
awesome.
made of original sin. Oh, and also the souls of a million sinners, including every one of Hell's victims. Also a touch of vampire for good measure.
K7 Letha
What?
is constantly evolving. It can act independently to defend Spawn.
Agony Axe, Chains of Hell, God Fruit, Guns, AK-830 Rocket Launcher, Brimstone Cannon, Burst Missile Launcher, Madcap Submachine Gun, Necroplasma Gun, Sawed-Off Shotgun, his suit, and of course Sword of the Spirit.
With an infinite stream of chains, transform into weapons, or drain people of their power. It is the most potent weapon Hell has ever created.
It even helped Spawn beat the primordial dark god Urizen, who can destroy and eat your soul with just a glare.
Except the souls bonded to Spawn acted as a buffer, allowing him to survive.
You'd think with an arsenal like that, he'd be unstoppable. But Hellspawns have a weakness to holy weapons and can be killed permanently if decapitated by one.
Though Spawn has managed to survive this in the past. No, Spawn's greatest weakness is his own, how do I put this? Stupidity.
So Spawn fought this angel lady, Angela. Great name for an angel. She had this dimensional lance that could wipe Hellspawn out of existence, and Spawn got it. But instead of, being cautious around a mysterious angel weapon that hurts him, he just had to push the big shiny button and activate it on himself.
And so,
Bro.
Spawn was forever destroyed. Until he reconfigured reality to undo his own in existence.
There we are, good as new. That has to be the first.
Instead of the spear erasing Spawn, Spawn instinctively reflected the power back at the spear itself, erasing it and its wielder from reality. Angela number 1 to 3.
Reality to undo his own in existence.
There we are,
Bro.
good as new. That has to be the first time we've seen someone accidentally kill themselves and survive.
On his quest as Hell's greatest warrior, Spawn has defeated a serial killer ice cream man, a demonic clown, and even his old boss remade by Heaven into an anti-Spawn. He's even encountered other Hellspawn.
Killing bad guys might seem counterintuitive if you work for a Hell Lord, but it actually just adds more souls to Malvosia's army. An army Spawn would have to lead in a war with Heaven that'd kill all of humanity.
Because the reason Malvolgia chose Al to be his commander wasn't that he was some great warrior. It was because Al had proven that he was the best at taking orders.
All his life and all his death, Al was nothing more than a hired gun.
But he knew it, and he would do so no more.
So Spawn marched down to Hell and ripped Malvosia's head off with a
Bro.
scream so loud it echoed through all of reality. Spawn became the king of the 8th circle of Hell.
As
Please, let me join your fleet, Cap.
Save it. You can't even pass level 2.
Hold on, I just found a solar panel and passed
I
level
don't
67.
play
total
games like
fluke. You're
this.
gonna
I don't
get
get
completely
why I
wrecked.
keep
Equip Mac.
getting
Boom,
these
level
fucking ads. And there's
999.
no way it
The
has
whole
all
space
these
queen.
awards
No
that
way.
it
How
say.
did you do?
King, Spawn is literally
Hell King Spawn. Constantly increases in power, giant form, omnipotent in hell, soul obliteration. Divine Spawn. Angelic wings granted by Mother of Existence, regeneration, and reality reconfiguration.
a part of Hell itself, gaining access to an unlimited pool of energy that increases 100-fold with every heartbeat. He's effectively omnipotent in there, and strong enough to challenge other Hell Lords like Mammon and Satan.
He got so strong, the only thing left was to finally resolve the war between heaven and hell.
But Spawn needed help from the being who created this God and Satan to begin with, the Mother of Existence, Gaia.
She wasn't cool with her kids being total assholes, so she appointed Spawn to be the universe's savior.
By eating the fruit
Damn.
from the Tree of Life, Spawn became truly divine, capable of battling God and Satan in a stalemate for eternity that extinguished all life on Earth.
And each of them are powerful enough to create and control.
The 10 hells and the 7 heavens consist of infinite layers. Each circle of hell is infinite in size. with each one separated by an infinite distance. Spawn number 51, spawn number 53. Likewise, every layer of heaven is infinite, existing within different time continuums. Spawn number 26 and spawn number 98. Jeez.
Infinitely sized universes.
Spawn broke the stalemate by letting God and Satan destroy him, only for Gaia to separate the two from the reality they threatened.
Then, just like that time with the Lance, Spawn respawned and recreated the Earth. Poof, good as new.
Finally freed of the weight of heaven and
Recreated the entire world, closed all the dead zones created by God, tore a hole in the space-time continuum, survived and rewrote his own existence, stated to be the strongest houseborn, matched God and Satan in divine form, defeated Malboja, Satan, Mammon, Irzan, Anti-Spawn, and the Violator. Alright, I think Spawn might actually end up winning this. I don't think Johnny's got this, guys.
now asked to be reborn as a human. But
I think
he knew
Spawn's
in his
about to
heart
whoop
he
his ass.
deserved to carry on his undead penance in perpetuity.
He's a creature of the 90s, Wiz. He won't be happy unless he can angstily brood over the injustice of
Yeah.
his own existence.
Though if you threaten the alley he calls home, beware, because Spawn will turn whatever's left of your life into a living hell.
He's an
This battle
edgelord.
is sponsored
He's
by
gotta
Draft
lord
by
those
the
edges, no matter what.
We've run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for one hell of a death battle!
Babies.
Nights like these drive men insane. Brimstone in the air. Something's coming. If it wants a piece of me, there'll be hell to pay.
Bitch, he is hell.
Go back to the pit you squirmed from, Hellspawn.
Make me.
Damn.
If you care, it's nothing personal. Vengeance calls.
Like that's showing us this energy meter. Like it does in the comics and shit.
Sloppy, you fight like a bum.
You've earned your damnation.
Oh shit, out of power. He ran out fast. Now, you're fucked.
Welcome to hell.
He knows all about hell. Fire truck! Uh-huh. Jerk.
Be damned.
Haha. That was a pretty good line. He stole that from Scorpion, bro. You can't do that. Damn! Bro is fucking... Jesus. Just using him as a fucking yo-yo. This is where Spawn, I think, is gonna win.
Cannot disguise your wickedness. God forbid.
Oh shit, is Ghost Rider actually gonna win like I thought?
Your sins are innumerable. I am here to wreak vengeance upon your soul.
Oh, no, there we go.
Sin for breakfast. Have a taste of your own goddamn medicine.
Oh, damn.
It's like you said, nothing personal, asshole.
KO! God damn!
Literally. This
That was
is
a
a
good ass
nail-biter of a
Spawn
battle that
voice.
pitted Ghost Rider's immeasurable power against Spawn's skill and versatility. Let's break this down into 4 categories.
First up, power. Divine Spawn could match God and Satan, who could create universes. Similar in scale to Ghost Rider's bouts with a lot of the powerhouses in Marvel.
But Zarathos was different. Remember,
Spawn can affect infinite timelines and bulk spaces such as the overlap, but Zarathos is a threat to an infinite number of infinite multiverses, infinite timelines, and higher dimensions, as well as transcendent realms in the bulk space connecting them.
his
Jesus
power can
Christ.
match that of Mephisto and Galactus, who can threaten all of Marvel's infinite cosmic reality, far
Yeah.
greater than any cosmos Spawn has ever affected. Even though Spawn's battled and defeated Satan in more recent comics, implying he's retained a level of power similar to his divine form, he couldn't match Zarathos in power alone.
Ghost Rider may take power, but remember, Johnny actively resists Zarathos' influence, so Spawn may have had time in the fight to learn and adapt to Ghost Rider before he went full Blue Fury.
And Spawn definitely had the edge in skill. He spent decades in military combat and is
Yeah.
a master martial artist, whereas Johnny more so relies on his invincibility.
The ultimate dream power for a
Johnny Blaze once claimed only God can destroy Ghost Riders permanently. However, as shown in Ghost Rider Volume 2, number 81, as well as Ghost Rider Danny Ketch number 3, separating a spirit of vengeance from their host is fatal to the former, regardless of God's involvement.
stuntman. Even with his crazy powers, Ghost Rider was a lot more direct than Spawn, pretty much entirely focused on attacking the soul.
Which doesn't bode well for his versatility. Spawn can stop time, manipulate matter, turn intangible, control minds, warp reality. The Ghost Rider had a much more limited arsenal by comparison. Spawn had a huge advantage in this category.
Though with his invincibility, way greater power, and the ability to scorch your soul to nothing, Ghost Rider could score the win through brute force, right?
Not exactly. The last piece of the puzzle is their resistances. Basically, who was harder to kill. Spawn's constant mainlining of humanity's collective sin and pain meant he could survive attacks on his soul, including the penance stare, just like he resisted a very similar attack from Urizen.
Best of all, remember the time he rewrote reality to undo his own inexistence?
There was nothing the Ghost Rider could do to overpower that. And that time with the lance wasn't planned, it was purely instinctual. He could replicate it any time he wanted, like in his fight with God and Satan.
So how do you put Spawn down for good? Well, you can't. At least Johnny and Zarathos couldn't.
Unlike how Ghost Rider's soul has been vulnerable to attack before, like when Danny used the penance stare to depower Johnny.
This sort of thing actually happens a lot, even
Mephisto claimed stealing Ghost Rider's soul would be difficult, but only through trickery. In Ghost Rider 06, Danny stole spirits of vengeance from other Ghost Riders worldwide, including Johnny himself. Johnny's soul has been stolen by Moondark, Marvel Team Up Volume 1, number 91, and Centaurus, Ghost Rider Volume 2, number 80.
in recent comics. The whole reason Johnny and Zarathos are bonded in the first place is because Zarathos' soul was manipulated by Mephisto.
And not only does Spawn have plenty of experience manipulating souls, he can replicate the effect of the penance stare itself.
And just think about that. A penance stare on Zarathos would mean he's feeling the pain from every penance stare that he's ever done. A penance squared.
The damnation stare, on the other hand, actively helped Spawn, sending him to hell where he gets a literal infinite power boost.
And it wasn't just Spawn's soul power.
Rogue absorbing Zarathos allowed him to briefly control her. Uncanny Avengers Annual number 1. But Letha can control the soul, body, and mind of her host, Spawn number 233. Given Al constantly resists her, he could similarly resist Zarathos' control.
That'd spell trouble. He had other ways to bypass Ghost Rider's immortality too, like transmutation, rewriting reality, or just straight up stealing his powers, which has worked on multiple Ghost Riders in the past.
Giving Spawn the final edge. Zarathos was almost unbeatable, a massive.
Alrighty, Ghost Rider was far stronger, but Spawn matched him in speed, However, Ghost Rider had no way of killing Spawn, was less versatile, and was vulnerable to being separated from Zarathos, which automatically kills Johnny. Spawn, on the other hand, was more versatile, could regenerate from anything the Rider could throw at him, and had multiple ways to bypass the Rider's immortality, but he was far weaker than the Ghost Rider.
Power advantage, soul destruction, immortality, but Spawn could counter everything thrown at him, and was too unkillable for Zarathos' strength advantage to matter in the long run against his crazier abilities.
That was one hell of a fight, and at least Johnny went out in a blaze of glory.
The winner is Spawn.
Next time
That one was pretty crazy. Uh, and it almost it got me. I thought they were gonna pull it off that Ghost Rider won, and then nope, he turned it right around and fucking won just like I originally thought.